good cleaning job should allow for 80% reduction of microorganisms. The poultry house must be swept and thoroughly cleaned and disinfected to allow optimum production.
Okay, we actually wake up at 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. First of all, we start by cleaning the drinkers. Then we go around inspecting.
Kimani is able to collect a reasonable amount of eggs on a daily basis from his flock of 3,000 layer birds.
In a day, I collect 30 trays for this 1,000, and for the other 2,000, because I've just started laying, I'm doing 17 to 19 trays per day.
The shaver breed is a highly efficient bird with superior egg production. These birds are around 5 months and have just started laying eggs. Humphrey is hopeful that they will be able to collect more eggs from this flock with time.
This flock is 1,000. This part of the shed is 1,000, and the other side has 1,000. Yeah, so these are the newly they've started laying just recently, and as you can see, they're still very young and beautiful, and we hope that we'll continue with them for a long time.
Proper records on egg production, vaccination, illness and deaths, feeding schedules and rendering services such as debeaking is essential. It is important to engage a professional in this process to ensure a good outcome.
The importance of debeaking is so that you can minimize, or so that they cannot peck on each other and kill each other. So when you're able to debeak in a proper way, you actually minimize the mortality rate. For this flock of 1,000, I got a person who really didn't debeak well. So as you can see, the beaks grew back, yeah, because actually my vet wasn't around, had gone very far. So I took another vet, but debeaked in a way that wasn't right. So that is a problem that right now I may have. But the other flock of 2,000 was debeaked quite well by the vet who did it. So kindly, when you're debeaking, get a professional so that you don't have to face what I'm facing right now.
After going wrong and having poor debeaking on the first flock, Humphrey was keen to engage a professional this time around, and he was happy that his second flock was well debeaked.
As you can see, there is a big difference of the debeaking. The debeaking that I showed you is that the other kind of bird had not actually been debeaked well, and this has actually been debeaked well. So for this is actually an advantage, because no pecking and no really fighting a lot, and also they tend to feed quite well.
Humphrey uses an automated water system for drinkers, but at the moment it was not working due to a faulty pipe. As for the feeders, they have taken the manual way.
So right now they're using this manual drinker, but the automatic is this one. They have actually been joined to one server tank that is inside this house, this shed.
A truck of water was to later come in to supply the water so that the birds could have sufficient water. The birds are likely to pour water on the floor, and if this happens, the wet soil must quickly be scooped to prevent pneumonia. Dry sawdust or soil should then be spread in the region to make sure the floor is well leveled. Business was good 2 years ago when Humphrey started out, as the profits were much better compared to the amount he is currently making.
Well, before the flooding of the eggs, we would do per month, we'd have about 100,000 profits, So right now we are barely doing 50, so it has gone that low. So actually right now we cannot even be able to do more than 50. We're actually doing 50,000 because of the and that is minus you have not paid your workers, and you have not you have only bought the feed. You have not paid the workers, you have not paid your bills, that is the water and electricity. You have not yet even bought the meds. There are also labor costs around that have to be met. So actually right now, if I would do my mathematics, for 1,000 right now, a farmer can do roughly about 20,000 only. If I put roughly about 100,000 per 2 weeks, and per month it's giving me 20,000. You see, I'm not really in business because there's a lot I have to look for, Other than what I've just told you, there's more to it about, the spending that I'm supposed to spend. So right now, things are not good. Yeah, things are not good. If I bring in a 2-week consignment, a 2-week consignment is going for roughly about 200,000 and 200, around 200,000. That is 2 weeks, And for me, I can't make 200,000 in 2 weeks, feeding the birds at that price of 220, 230. I cannot be able to. And the people who will buy at 250 are not a lot of people, are very few people. So you can see that there is a very serious, problem that we are having as farmers. So what I can just urge the government is to look into our problems.
Humphrey mentions about value addition. The drop in the eggs price really hit him hard, and all he wanted to do was to keep going. Worse still, he had to lay off some workers in an attempt to cut down the cost.
We as farmers have invested heavily. Like now, if you look at this project of mine, it has cost me close to about 10M. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, we used to sell a tray at 300 bob. Now, all of a sudden, we are going as low as, 200, 230. To recoup that kind of investment, you cannot. Like now, I had to lay down one of my workers because I'm not even able to pay these guys.
Humphrey opens the trunk of his car to display the tray of eggs that he was not able to sell the previous day.
So we're just begging, and we want to just try and talk to the president himself. Not anybody, not his PS, because those PSs don't really take the good information. But the president himself to come in and try and help the common farmer.
Humphrey Kimani and his team are still hopeful that today will be a better day and that the sales will increase.
What we're doing, we are trying to add value to our eggs by baking. I've baked for about 4 years, so I have an idea of what goes on, and also we are doing all kinds of cakes. We are doing birthday cakes. This is actually a Valentine cake for somebody who has somebody she loves. So lazima mapenzi ikue. And we're also doing cookies, and we've just started, but we're doing a lot of baking, trying to see how we are going to add value to the eggs. Yeah, we just do it at the kitchen, but hoping that we'll expand very soon, at least get somewhere we can do this on a 24-hour basis. Actually, what we are doing is that the market is not bad, because we're actually going to the market itself and meeting the normal mwananchi. And the best thing is that if you have quality, it won't be a problem for you to sell. So quality is what determines if you're selling, because now, we have the eggs. Eggs is one of the major ingredients in baking. So if you have the egg, you're definitely able to, to play around with the recipe so that you can get a good and nice end product. So like now this is actually a lemon cake with small coating of chocolate on top. Now for this, people want to eat it because at around 10 o'clock, they want to have some tea. There are people who eat this for lunch. Yeah, so we're actually taking it to them. For me, it is easy to do this, to add value to my eggs, But now there are people who don't know how to do this, because making this is not a walk in the park. It is almost like science. You have to know what goes with what, and the ratios and all that. But now there are people who have no idea on baking cakes, or can't get such an oven. So what I'd say is that please, the government should actually go to the mwananchi, not be given stories in the office that there are no eggs coming in from other countries. They should go to the mwananchi and talk to the mwananchi, because that mwananchi cannot bake like me. They're not, all of them are not able to bake like me. There are people who are suffering with lots of chicken. So they should address this issue of eggs coming in. We are not saying that they should ban, imports or exports, but they should regulate the way they are coming in. They should not, really come in such a large number that they are killing the industry itself, but should come in, in small numbers, so that we can also be able to sustain, the farmers that are there. So please, it is good for the government to address this issue. Tafadhali, Mr. President.
Indeed, in every setbacks comes forth a new opportunity for growth. Until the next episode,
continue watching KTN Farmers TV. Thank you.